Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 45 of Community Service Hour. We've got a great program today. Any baseball fans in the house?
I feel like there have to be Philly fans in the house.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Sometimes NFTs can boost the price of something. It can be a premium or a discount. So let me show you a discount out there. Pure alpha. So disclaimer, this is my client, and I just wanted to tell you about this one NFT drop, right? It's not something I'm selling. It's a client of mine. They're working with Rawlings. Rawlings is a very legitimate 150-year-old-ish baseball glove and baseball company. They're selling an NFT that includes 2 travel ticket accommodations to go to a physical event. They forgot to say that it's limited to US only. What that means is you could be anywhere, travel's included. How much would something like that go for? 2 flights from anywhere on earth to an event with the glove. All that actually goes to charity, a scholarship fund. This is probably at a loss right now. Hotels and tickets for 2 people from anywhere. You got to watch out. And nobody's bid on this thing because nobody knows about it. Because the people that are involved in this project, it's very hard to get on their social schedule, even if they're paying you money. It's funny. I just thought I'd put some alpha out there because this is going to close 24 hours from now. It used to be that you would have an NFT, everybody's talking about how do we add value to an NFT with benefits? And yet here's something that's all benefits. This would be worth a lot more if they just sold it for cash. They're selling it with an NFT and nobody's bidding on it.
Hey, this is John. I was going to say this kind of makes me think of just one of the organizational challenges that a lot of companies are likely going to have to solve for is like who within a large legacy company, especially companies that outsource their social media, who owns the role of like promoting these, who supports it from an operations standpoint. I see this happen here and there when it comes to good ideas, but just like organizational effectiveness, not necessarily kind of like being on the top of the mind of the company where they might jump into something that sounds good and is good, but organizationally comes with some responsibilities and accountabilities that they haven't really like hired for or structured for.
Yeah, and that includes sending a tweet, putting something on a calendar 4 months ahead of time, approved by executives, tweet never gets sent. And those tweets are valuable. It's a big thing. Thanks, John. Any other crazy project where you've seen something like that happen?
Nothing in the Web3 space. I just come from like a kind of traditional consulting background. So, I come and go in and out of organizations, and as an outsider is typically standing up marketing functions or supporting marketing functions. Oftentimes kind of become a pass the hot potato type of game. We do this type of marketing portfolio management, but we don't really know who owns this. So sometimes internally, just like there isn't an advocate, or it gets lost in the many other people who advocate for what their primary duties are.
Do we want to do the special thing, Dan, or?
Give it a go.
All right. Topic number 1. DOJ seizes $500K from North Korean hackers who targeted U.S. medical organizations, probably through ransomware. Yes, because you've all seen it 100 times. This is happening over and over and over again. This is happening in critical infrastructure, schools, hospitals. Now we've got medical organizations. CNN attributes this to North Korean hackers. And so here's my question. This keeps happening. How is North Korea not hiding the money fancy enough? If you have a job full-time and your job is just steal money and hide it, you think you could get better at that. So I'm surprised that the Department of Justice is keeping up and that they actually seized this latest round of $500K. I don't know. I just feel like the lack of professionalism here surprised me since this is a state-backed enterprise, as far as I understand. What about the next time when they do another ransomware and they don't get the money seized? That would be 0.1 for the North Koreans, and they seize it again. That's 0.1 for Team Blue. Item number 2, random drops. I want to show you, this is something a million people were asking for, and we deliver. Here's the blog post on randomness and dropping NFTs. I just spoke with somebody who works at Chainlink, and I gave him a heads up. Basically, we're going to have I don't know if it's nasty or enlightening article coming out. Chainlink random drops are not random. So we need to talk about that. And some people think things are random when they're not. I wanted to lasso all this together, put it in an article, and this is randomization strategies. And it's telling you all the different ways that people are randomizing things. Are they going to use something off-chain like Chainlink? Are they going to use the block hash? Are they going to use auctions? And what are the trade-offs on all these things? Here's the article. There's a lot of things that are changing with proof of stake. And we got to be prepared for that because a lot of things through proof of work and proof of stake affect randomness. Batch ETH tool back again from NFT.life. Previously, we had batch transfer ERC 721 tool. This tool allows you to send multiple NFTs from one account to another account. So many people use it. This is really a common problem. If you have one wallet, send a bunch of NFTs somewhere else or to yourself, or your wallet gets hacked and you want to move this stuff out. And this is a free tool. It's super simple and already 11,000 transactions. So it's going strong. We came out with the next product. It's called Batch Transfer Ether. Same thing, allows you to transfer Ether. Here's the cool part. It allows you to send Ether to multiple people. So you go into mainnet, and then you say how much you want to send to each one of them. 1, 2, 3. You hit that button, and then that amount of Ether goes to each one of those people. If you're paying out royalties or something like that, this is a super cool way to just save transaction fees. That's what you want to do. You don't want to be wasting all your money on transaction fees. So that's the latest tool. We might have another one coming up soon, also to allow you to transfer ERC20s. So this tool has been a great success already with 11,000 people using it. I don't make any money. I don't care. This is just a free thing that people ask me for, and so I just deliver it. If you're interested, if anybody's working as an artist and you got multiple royalties you need to pay out, this is the tool for you. More EIPs. All right, last topic on the speed round here. So everybody, who loves EIPs? Who thinks we need like a million more of them? EIPs, we're talking about Ethereum. They have a bunch of ideas written down for products and standards and things that they want you to spend your money on. And then they get a number every time they do it. These are called EIPs. Vaults, rental, extensions of ERC 721, soulbound tokens, all these different things, plenty of drafts, lots in review. How do you feel about this? My feeling is that there's too many of them and people are making low quality standards. Their goal here is really to just get published. They want to write something down. They want people to read it. They don't want to spend the time to go build a product. I would like to see people making products and then inviting other people to join their sandbox later. And there's a blog post about this. The question is, what kinds of things should be standardized? So this combines standards like blockchain stuff, NFTs, ERC 721, compared to US letter size paper and USB 4 and food nutrition labels. Why these different things are standardized, who's using them, who it benefits. And so here's the money quote. A standard only deserves to be written if multiple people adhere to it and people depend on its surface area. When you standardize something, the surface area is the requirements of what you need to do. For example, postcards. If you use the wrong size postcard and you put a stamp on it in the United States, you will go to jail if you do that routinely. They have postal inspectors, their own police. If you're writing a standard for smart contracts and nobody depends on that, that does not need to be standardized. So instead, you should go make your own product, make it great, and have other people depend on you before you go telling other people how to build their own products. All right, that's speed round. Who's releasing? Who's dropping? Who's buying? Who's selling?
We met at NFT NYC, and I was there with my mate Rob, the short guy, and then we caught you on the street and sort of walked you to your hotel, if you remember.
Yes.
We spoke about governance. Yeah, and I didn't realize I logged in with my business account. Yeah, talking about dropping, I'm just going to chill. I just launched my newsletter, so that's what I'm doing.
Cool.
Was it about governance?
No, I work with a guy his name's Rob Morris, who William also met, and we're working on governance there. So it's a DAO called Fund DAO Mental, which is a product studio and a research lab, and the product studio is a commercialization arm, funds the research lab, and the research is concentrated around human cooperation and coordination, how obviously all based on research and theories, but we're trying to find a way to create micro communities and have them more aligned, and then make bigger organizations a little bit more scalable, aligned incentive structures, if that makes sense.
Cool.
Yeah, so that's what we're
How do you
working on.
do it?
It also sounds like it's going to take a while.
It's definitely fundamental. Is Rob and my life project now for many years to come. My main business will be the newsletter, which is targeting more sort of intermediate people, get them more into this. My first series, for example, is about NFTs, explaining different use cases, making it more accessible to more the mainstream, like not complete noobs that are anti, but just sort of designers, accountants, these sort of people that are like, I've heard what NFTs mean, but why is everybody crazy about it, for example?
Doing God's work. Yeah, I mean, these are future things, right? It's very incremental. You've got to really teach people the whole time, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's step by step. You got to explain what you're doing. You got to explain why you're doing it, because people don't see the impacts right away. You might be doing something fundamentally new and crazy,
Originally, I started in Web 2, not from a technical background, but started as a product manager and then sort of fell into the space. And just all my old colleagues, they were just like, why are you in this NFT? What are you even talking about? Like, this is all a scam. And, the typical media stuff that they're just regurgitate. I was just like, but you're a designer, you're an artist. How come you're not interested in this? Or my mate who's an accountant, she's like, oh, all my clients that I don't even know what they're talking about. I don't know how to tax this. Like, I need to break this down. So that's how I started. Been pondering for months, and now I'm like, F it. I'm just gonna put it together and see if it helps anyone. See where that goes.
That's great. Well, how do we find it?
It's on Substack, so on my Twitter, yeah.
Cool.
Thanks, man.
Well, there's something worth looking up. So Google Cloud just announced a partnership with Coinbase.
Google Cloud and Coinbase announced a new long-term strategic partnership. Okay, partner released by Google and by Coinbase. Okay. So the other websites are mentioning Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all these things, but the official press release does not say any of this. Google will use Coinbase Prime for possibly secure custody and reporting. That's good. Select customers, starting with people in the Web3 ecosystem, pay for its cloud services using cryptocurrencies. Okay, so now here's some corporate speak. Through this partnership, Web3 developers can also access Google's BigQuery crypto public dataset, powered by Coinbase Cloud Nodes. That doesn't sound like something new that's being announced, since these datasets are already public. Powered by Coinbase Cloud Nodes. Okay, so Coinbase has its own nodes for reporting and transaction processing, which are probably already running on Google, but for some reason they're going to co-brand that or something. And then just a bunch of random quotes. Okay, the main announcements here are that Google and Coinbase are going to allow you to buy Google stuff with various cryptocurrencies.
I've made some progress, William, since the last time I was here on the Community Hour. Well, for one, much more familiar with Solidity and much more comfortable now. And I've decided on a direction. It's something that I've thought about for a long time. I'm building a Web3 jargon here, as per usual, Web3 native social media site, which has an inbuilt marketplace which leans on the kind of comic industry model where there is essentially a certain day of the week, Wednesdays generally in the comic industry, where new comics are released. So there'll be one day a week where people are able to list their NFTs before this, but each Thursday is when then an NFT sale essentially goes live. And that's what I'm working towards now, and very, very early, but bare bones of building that.
I like that. I like the idea to focus on one day a week. There's simply not enough volume for a new Web3 social media network.
It will happen at some point where the majority of Web3 attention moves away from Twitter. It won't be Twitter forever. And I believe that, so I'm going to build it, and we'll see what happens.
Good attitude. Yeah, this is a good attitude. I've seen a lot of people talking about this, so I'd like to just see people trying. More trying, less talking. Your note about the comic book model, I'm going to be honest, that's the freshest idea I've heard.
That's kind of where the USP of the whole thing is. I'm hoping that I can kind of reach a little bit deeper into the market by having this weekly open sale for anyone. But we'll see what happens, and I'll keep you abreast.
Awesome, thank you. You've got allies here.
I appreciate that. Oh, and I managed to get Thursday, the domain Thursday.wtf.
Nice.
And the Twitter for it right now is Thursday_WTF.
Love it. I want to stay positive. I don't want to focus on other people that are trying and going nowhere. So I want to find the things here that are the contributions. That's a contribution. Building your brand around Thursday, the comic book model. Telling the story this way. Contributions.
That's a great way to put it. And that's what it is. I'm not trying to monopolize or dominate. I'm just trying to contribute.
And we got to take credit too, all of us. When we look at Starbucks or Reddit, where do those ideas come from? You're doing that because of you. You're creators. You're the ones building these ideas. Maybe you haven't quit your day job. Maybe you haven't built the thing that you were dreaming of, but your ideas are going. And so that's why I'm here. These are the ideas. This is the future. Community points that can be used in other places, that's valuable. I'm talking about Reddit. That's the future. That's big time. Whatever they come up with is going to be big time. These discussions we're having today or wherever, that's contributing.
Yeah, well, I just added the Twitter feed to our notes. So for posterity, we heard it here first. Thursday.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, let me pull up one last thing here. This is something we didn't have time to run up. I just want to show you what this looks like. Okay, so what's a Phygitals? Phygitals is somehow an NFT connected with a physical thing. Okay, so here's how it works. This same exact thing works, but you want to use this like an unlockable benefit. You can unlock something, a one-time unlock into a physical experience or something you mail them or a postcard. This all works for what I'm talking about. So the customer perspective here is that they have an NFT and they want to have fulfillment instructions. So we have a button here. You click it, it just gives you an NFT on testnet. This demo runs on Goerli testnet. So you could run in there and it just gives you some NFTs. Then there's box here to send fulfillment instructions. So if this was going to be something you're going to send in the mail, then you would put in here probably like your address, city, state, postal code, country, and you would send fulfillment instructions. Or this could be something more specific to meeting in person, like a meeting. Like they're going to show up at a party and you would write that in there. And so what they're going to do is they're going to sign this message. They're going to click the sign button, and because they have access to this NFT, it is owned by a cryptographic wallet on Ethereum, Tron, Binance, whatever. They're all the same-ish. And they have access to this wallet. Wallets can send NFTs and get them, but they can also sign messages. So this button signs this message. Last step, optional, is that you would transfer this NFT to a fulfillment wallet. So if you want this to be a one-time thing and you don't want them to have the NFT anymore after they've fulfilled, you would use this step, the third step as well. So this is a technology demo. So when you click this button, it will just have a pop-up on MetaMask or whatever, and it will show some cryptographic stuff. But what I wanted to demonstrate is that this is something you can do on a normal website. This is a dApp. And you can take this cryptographically signed thing and send it through email, send it through a web form, however you send it. And then here's the perspective on the vendor side. The vendor can validate who owns an NFT, 1, 2, 3, they can check it, and then they can validate these fulfillment instructions. So the way it works is you take the encoded message, you paste it in here and validate, and it will tell you which account signed the message. So what that means is if you're trying to give a benefit to somebody who owns token 123, you can look who owns token 123 and they sign a message, Bob, and they send that message to you, and you look up who signed that message and you see Bob, you can be confident that there's no hackery involved, that the person who owns the NFT really wants to send this message to you. And if the message is, please take my NFT away from me and go fulfill this, that's proof. That's all you need as evidence to go fulfill it, and you can be confident that it's authorized fulfillment. There you go. This is the basic model for Phygitals. There's not much here. You can copy and paste all this code. You can use it for yourself. It's all free, open source. Has anybody bought an NFT that is related to a physical thing?
Gary Vaynerchuk, I think, is the, love him or hate him, but he's the one that pulled it off the best with his VCon tickets. So VFriends, his collection, will give you access to, not all of them, but some of them either give you access to his time or access to his team, or which is, over Zoom or whatever. But then the tickets for VCon, his exclusive conference, that's obviously IRL. So that's one example. Whereas then there's these other ones that are like access passes to communities that are either virtual or in real life as well. And they're more like country clubs.
I hear you. Yeah. So these are types of NFTs. They're sold as an NFT, but they're specifically made for that purpose.
I was at a yacht party in New York shortly after the conference from Forgotten Ruins. So Forgotten Ruins put on a yacht party, attached anybody who had an NFT, and then I was also in the line of the Goblins party and didn't get in.